Hi everybody and welcome to the channel. I'm Tim. Thanks for being here. I always appreciate the time that you and I get to spend together, so thanks for tuning in. And I hope wherever you are that you're happy, healthy, and staying safe. On today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and giving you my thoughts on the HeatPod Sauna Blanket by Hydragun. Now, before I get into it too far, I do want to get a disclosure out of the way. The HeatPod Sauna Blanket by Hydragun was sent to me for the purpose of review. However, no one is paying me to make this video. No one's telling me what to say, and no one has an opportunity to preview my thoughts before I share them with you first here on YouTube. Now, the HeatPod Sauna Blanket by Hydragun retails for $499 US, and if at any point in time during this video you want to learn a little bit more about them, or maybe you want to pick one up for yourself, I'll put a link in the description below that'll take you right to it on their product webpage, along with a discount code so you can save yourself a little bit of money. Now, while $499 US is not inexpensive, so that's a pretty good investment, it might actually save you money over the long run. Now, if you like to take advantage of heat therapy, and like I like to do, if you were to take a sauna session, for example, in my local town, it costs about $50 per hour. So you're going to get your money back pretty quickly if you like to use this on a regular basis. Now, if you're not familiar with the sauna blanket, these have become really popular over the last couple of years. And after having used this one for a couple of weeks, it's easy for me to understand why. Now, for a traditional sauna to have one in your home, for most of us, that's just not feasible. Number one, it takes up a lot of space. And number two, they're really expensive and can cost somewhere around $5,000 to have one installed into your own home. Where a sauna blanket, like the HeatPod from Hydragun, is highly portable, and you get the same benefits, if not more, from the infrared heat that this delivers than you would from a traditional sauna. So let's open up the box and see what all comes inside. To do that, I'm going to lay it down, and this opens from the end. Okay, so right on top, we're going to find our controls. And you have a wide range of temperature settings, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. And I'm going to set this aside. We also have our instruction manual, so how to use your new HeatPod. We'll set that aside, and again, we'll take a look at that here in just a minute. And then you have your sauna blanket that comes in a really nice case. So as you can see, our sauna blanket comes inside a bag. Now this is really convenient. This is what when I said it was portable, this is just how portable it is. So it makes it really doable if you want to take this with you. Maybe going on a trip, going on vacation. Now I love to run, so I do travel a lot to go to my races. So this is definitely something I can take with me into the hotel. And as we open it up, we will find our sauna blanket. And this will just unfold. And then here you can see that you place this, you're going to plug in your control unit. You can set the temperature, so it tells you exactly the temperature. So it's not levels, but if you like it at 140 degrees, for example, you can set it to 140 degrees. You're not setting it to level 3 and hope that it's 140 degrees. So it tells you exactly what the temperature is. Now, I had it cranked up to like 174 degrees. It was really comfortable, but it's also really hot, and I got a really good sweat. But we'll talk more about that again here in a second. But this is where you plug in your control unit. Oh, and the other nice thing about the control unit is it has a timer. So you can set it for up to 60 minutes. Now, it takes about 10 minutes for this to heat up to get to that maximum level, which was, for me, like I said, I had it set up around 174 degrees. And it did take about 10 minutes to get there. So I set it for 60 minutes, which then meant my session lasted for 50 minutes at that temperature. And then when my session was over, now there was an audible beep to let me know that the time had expired, so my 60 minutes was up in total. So I really do like that feature. And then once you're done, of course, this zips up. Now imagine a sleeping bag. So you're going to roll it out. Now this has a zipper that you're going to zip yourself up in. It does have a place that's cut out for your neck, which gives you just a little bit more comfort, so you can slide right down inside the HeatPod and cover as much of your body as you want to, just exposing or leaving your neck and head out. And if you want to tuck your arms inside, you can do that. That's the way I prefer to do it, because I seem to get just a little bit more relaxation across my traps, especially down through my arms and that kind of thing. But if you don't want to do that, maybe you want to read and relax, you can leave your arms out. That's perfectly acceptable. And you will sweat. So let's talk about what you're going to want to wear. Now, you're definitely going to want to be covered, or both, have a towel down maybe in the HeatPod itself. Now, I had on socks and some loose-fitting joggers. Now, these were joggers that had a little bit of plastic material on it for a logo from the company. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. So if you have just all cotton ones without any kind of logos, I think that probably would be best, because I did seem to sweat just a little bit more where that was. But that's up to you. That's all personal preference. And then just any type of cotton shirt to make it comfortable for yourself. And you're going to sweat. So I would definitely have a towel that's available to you to wipe the sweat from your brow. Or as I did, maybe the second or third time that I used it, I started wrapping the pillow that I was laying my head on in a towel to protect it from, my sweat and that kind of thing as well. So absolutely love it. It does exactly what it was intended to do, and I found it to be super relaxing. So let's talk about the material that this is made out of. It is made out of a sweat-resistant vegan leather material. And as with all of the Hydragun products that I've reviewed, it's high quality. You know this is super durable. It's going to last. You're not going to have any issues with it. And because it is sweat-resistant vegan leather, it's super easy to clean. All you need to do is just wipe it down with a towel after you've finished your session. And if you want to use maybe a real mild cleaning solution, or just water and your towel to wipe that up as well, that works just fine. Now, the HeatPod does have a triple protective lining, and it has heat sensors to prevent it from overheating. Now, although it's electric and it's delivering your heat source through infrared, it has 0 EMF emissions, so that's electromagnetic force. So if that's a concern of yours, you don't have to worry about that with the HeatPod. Now, this is big enough to pretty much accommodate everyone. Dimension-wise, it's 71 inches by 71 inches when it's folded out, so it's a square, or that would be 180 centimeters by 180 centimeters. Now, as I mentioned, I do use this when I'm clothed. So I was wearing some loose-fitting cotton types of materials, and for me, that seemed to work really well. It was very comfortable. But you can use the HeatPod undressed if you purchase the unit that has the towel insert. Now, in order to use it, you're going to want to lay it out on a flat surface, one that's heat resistant. And if you want to add a little bit of comfort to your experience, you can lay down a yoga mat. Oftentimes those have just a little extra cushion to make it a little more, like I said, comfortable for you. Or if you have another type of exercise mat, you want to lay down and lay this on top of it. For me, I just laid it directly on top of my carpeted flooring, and I found it to be really comfortable. And again, you're going to want to have the things around you that you think you're going to need for the next hour while you relax. It is a very relaxing experience, but because you are sweating, chances are you're going to get thirsty. I know I did, and so I was keeping a water bottle next to me. I didn't start out with a water bottle. I had a tumbler next to me, but I had it a little bit too close. I actually knocked it over the first time that I was using the HeatPod. So later on, I decided I was just going to use that traditional water bottle that had a cap on it so it didn't get spilled either by myself or my curious cats that like to check out to see what I was doing. But either way, I found it to be super comfortable, and just planning ahead can make the entire experience just that much more enjoyable for you. So let's talk about the controls for a second. Now, the control unit has a power button that's located in the center of the controls. Just press and hold that for a second for it to power up. And then you also have your timer, so you can set it from 5 minutes, like I said, up to 60. And then you have your temperature settings here. And again, I love the fact that it gives you an actual temperature and not just a level. So I know exactly what's going to be comfortable for me. Now, I like it at basically the hottest level that I can get it. But you might not. You might find it much more enjoyable to start out at, say, 140 degrees as opposed to 174 or 176 degrees like I like to use. And then also just a quick tip, as you're adjusting the temperature, if you short press the up button, for example, if you want to increase the temperature, it's going to go up by 2 degrees. But if you hold it, you give it a long press, it's going to go up in increments of 10 degrees. And then now that you got your timer set and you've chosen the right heat setting for you, you're going to want to store or leave the control unit off the heat pod itself. So just lay it on the floor next to you or whatever surface that you have this laid out on. And then once your session is over, you're going to want to unplug the control unit from the heat pod, let it set for 15 minutes for it to cool down. Now what I do is I unzip it and it folds out nice and flat, and I use a towel to wipe it down to clean it up, and then you can fold it up, put it back away, back into its storage bag, and then into the box. Now this is safe enough to use every day, and it helps to manage aches and pains. I love it for that purpose, but it also has a lot of other health benefits as well, including improving or boosting your cardiometabolic system, your circulation, your skin health, the production of antioxidants. So there are just a ton of health benefits that come along with using the HeatPod by Hydragun. But I love to use it as a post-workout recovery. It just relaxes all of my muscles. I know it gets everything flowing, helps to flush out any kinds of toxins that might be built up in my muscles from particularly long runs. We all know how that can happen, especially, if you're a runner or you're an endurance athlete, you know how you can get that lactic acid that's built up in your muscles, but increasing blood flow and circulation can help flush those out of your system just a little bit quicker, and I love it for that purpose. But in addition to those health benefits that I just mentioned, like boosting your immune system and the production of antioxidants, it's also a great way simply to relax and relieve any kind of tension that you might have. And for someone like myself, I often do have a little bit of trouble getting a good night's sleep. So if I use this, say about 90 minutes before I want to go to bed, it just helps me to relax so I can get a little bit better night's sleep. So overall, if you're looking for a sauna blanket, I think the HeatPod by Hydragun is definitely worth checking out. It's well built. You have a lot of control over the temperature settings, all the way from 86 degrees Fahrenheit up to 176 degrees Fahrenheit, or again in Celsius, that would be 30 degrees Celsius up to 80 degrees Celsius. I love the controls. I love the fact that you have a timer and the audio beep that lets you know when your session has ended. It's great for taking care of all those muscle aches and pains and boosting your immune system. So overall, I think it's well worth the money that they're asking for. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Run Tall with Tim.